Okay, so let's talk about Scream 6 theory is that we might be dealing with a Ghostface cult. So I know in the comments everybody's already going to be destroying my theory and saying that I'm wrong. It's what we have. It's like when I said that Stu was alive. I mean, we don't know. I mean, it very much so is a thing that we've already heard that Stu's not alive. There's no way. But you know what? They always retcon things. But let's get right into this. But before we do, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. Check out all our other videos. We got a bunch of Scream videos coming pretty soon to the channel. And make sure you check out our Indiegogo. We are still trying to fund our horror movie. But let's get right into this theory. Are we dealing with a Ghostface cult? Now, we generally always have dealt with maybe one or two killers. And now we might just be dealing with more than two, maybe five. So here's my thought and my opinion on this is that we are in New York City, whole new playground for Ghostface to run amok and go crazy. But we have a lot of territory to cover if we're in the Big Apple, right? It's not like we're just in some suburbs or in some small town. We are in New York City. And so it's going to be kind of crazy to think that there is just one person running around all over the place in a Ghostface costume trying to get to these survivors. So who could be running this cult? So before we get into that, I have said before, could Stu Macher be alive? And I've already heard the people behind the original Scream movies and also some fans and everybody else saying there's no way he was electrocuted, he's dead, TV on his face, whatever, right? Okay, so I said, what if there is a descendant of Stu that is sort of trying to keep his spirit alive? In a sense, Stu is still alive. We could definitely go with that aspect of it as well. We could see also that Stu maybe did survive and it was kept under wraps or whatever, and he was stuck somewhere. But then again, where would he have been throughout all of these years, right? Now, the thing with me with that theory about Stu that completely invalidates it is that Sidney Prescott will not be in this movie. So I don't see the reason for Stu to come after whoever he is trying to come after. And the whole thing with maybe coming after Sam due to her being Billy's daughter might be a thing. But at the same time, I don't see it. So we definitely don't think that Stu's coming back, in my opinion. Now, I do believe that there could be a descendant of Stu that kind of feels some type of way about Sam sort of getting all of this recognition as of late because she has survived these murders that happened in the previous movie, and people are probably going to find out that she is the daughter of Billy Loomis, one of the biggest killers in this Woodsboro town. So she might have developed some sort of infamy of sorts, and that infamy can be sort of fame at the same time, and somebody's going to feel some type of way about that, and that might just be Samara Weaving, who could be a descendant of Stu, possibly daughter, but I don't know if they want to do the whole daughter dad thing again, and that would definitely be kind of weird. But one of the things that makes me think that Stu has something connected to this movie is the reason that they introduced Ben Schneider in Scream 5 hasn't really been sort of followed up, and they did use Stu's house in Scream 5 as well. So there's all of these things connecting Stu still to the Scream franchise, and yet we don't have anything really connecting Stu to any of the killers. That could be saved up for another movie, I feel, or it could sort of be starting to be explored in this movie, where we might hear that there's actually a cult of Stu worshippers or also Ghostface worshippers. Now, we do know that there, in real life, people are obsessed with serial killers, which is something that we see in a lot of like social media and stuff like that. So I think that Scream is always a movie, a franchise that really likes to look at like social issues and things that we have in our society right now and how people deal with things, whether it was back in the 90s through like these like prank calls and things like that would happen a lot, or also with the recent movies talking about message boards and all of that. We could definitely see that those message boards that were sort of implied about in Scream 5 can sort of become a thing that we find out that maybe some of these people on these message boards took it a little too far and they became sort of obsessed with them. And you know, like when you have any type of group or anything online, you can always expect that some of the group might sort of divert from the main group and become their own thing. So maybe these people that were kind of obsessed with the stab movies and everything like that, some of them were more obsessed with the real life killings than the movies themselves, and they might have diverted from that message board and created their own thing where they've become these worshippers for like Billy Loomis and Stu Macher, and they now sort of feel some type of way after what happened to Amber and sort of like want to replicate those things and sort of feel they need to get Sam onto their own cult if they're worshiping Billy Loomis, not really wanting to go after Sam herself, but more along like obsessed with her so much that they want her in this group in some shape, way, or form. And whether that means going after her and her friends, then so be it. I could definitely see that happening because, like I said, we've already seen multiple masks in this Scream movie that have been shared by the social media team and some of the magazines that have been talking about it. And I could definitely see them dealing with more than one Ghostface, more than two actually. Now, does that mean Samara Weaving is obsessed with Sam? Maybe not. Maybe you could also have a whole thing where there could be multiple Ghostface, but each one of them maybe have their own dilemma they're trying to solve by being Ghostface, whether that's Samara Weaving's character being jealous of Sam or the cult trying to get a hold of Sam. And I could definitely see like them just going off the wall bonkers with this whole thing because there's so much that they could do with this. But I feel like the state of one or two killers would just get a little too stale already. So I think they would want to switch it up and throw us a curveball like this because it would really add a lot to this movie if they did something like that, a cult of sorts. So I don't know. What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments below. But like I said, I'm just basing it off them having multiple masks, having these different Ghostface, and being in a big city. It would make a lot of sense for this Ghostface character to be able to cover a lot of ground if it was multiple people that were Ghostface, more than two for sure. And the fact of there being a Ghostface like club, that would just be like the icing on the cake, right? So my camera has died, but we can just record audio for the rest of this. I was very much so, I was already almost done with talking about this theory, but yeah, I think it's possible that we could see a movie where we see multiple Ghostface, because, you know, generally when you go into these like mystery horror movies that have you questioning till the end who is the killer, you might have one or two people you suspect, but imagine like pulling a card where it's like nobody you suspected, but at the same time it kind of feels like we would have to have somebody in the core group be behind it. It can't just be randos that we have never seen. Otherwise, I think it would feel very cheap and empty, right? Because we never really had a movie like that where it was somebody that didn't have any connection at all. So that's where I'm putting in Samara Weaving's character being one of these characters that might just be behind it all and sort of maybe somebody who is a big part of this club due to their connection to Stu Macher. But I don't know. I don't see them not including one of the core people in this movie as one of the killers, and the rest could just be randos. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on that. Or do you think Stu could be alive? I mean, we're still going to talk about that. I know it's crazy and many people get mad whenever people bring it up. I'm not sure why. It's just a movie and we're theorizing, but you know, that's the state of things now. So we'll definitely talk about the Stu Macher is alive theory as well. That's going to come out sometime next week. And like I said, we're going to go revisit all of the movies in the Scream franchise in anticipation for the new Scream movie, so stay tuned for that. And I think we want to do some watch parties for that. So if you would do a Scream watch party where we just watch it and we just like give our thoughts and opinions on it, and then it could be uploaded like a social commentary that you can watch after, let me know if you'd be interested in that. That's something I'm thinking about doing as we launch some new stuff on the channel, our Patreon and all of that. So let me know what you think about that. But anyways, as always, that is going to do it for me. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions on if there could be a Ghostface cult or not, or do you not really see that being a thing? Let me know below. Am I just crazy? You could tell me that too. But anyways, check out our theory videos that we've already done on Scream 6. Check out our Megan ending explained, as well as our out of theater reaction we just did. We have so many things to cover in this month of January, which is usually a slow month, so that means that the rest of the year is looking like it's going to be pretty busy, so we're excited about that. So many movies to cover. We have screenings to go to next week, which we are excited to talk about once we get the chance to, and we have some more horror stuff because that's our main bread and butter over here, is the horror. So stay tuned for all of that. But as always, I'll see all of you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.